Good morning, YouTube. Today, let's talk about sketchy dealerships in the supercar world.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan, and today we have Adam back with us. He's back, baby. I think Adam's more mad than I am about the situation.
I am, actually.
I think legitimately, he was pissed.
And this isn't like fabricated anger.
No, this is legit.
Like, I'm pissed.
It's a good thing they're talking to me and not him. So we're going to talk about the whole bullshit thing that went down with trying to buy that Superleggera and why we even were dealing with it in the first place and all that stuff. So we're going to just kind of go through the story a little bit more now that it's kind of evolved and
out in the open.
Yeah, it's out in the open and the whole thing's kind of settled. So we're going to talk about that today, and hopefully this will be educational for you guys to learn some things to avoid or red flags and stuff like that. So real quick, before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. We do appreciate it when you guys did it. And also go visit normalguysupercar.com. There you can buy parts and services for your supercar, including consultations where we can help you navigate exactly this sort of situation and avoid it. We've literally helped hundreds of people buy supercars. So it's one of my favorite things to do is help you guys make sure you get a good deal and don't get screwed like I almost did. So anyway, let's talk about this whole thing with the Superleggera. Well, first of all, Adam is back from vacation, so woohoo!
Yay!
Adam, yay!
And there was much rejoicing.
I'm so happy you're back.
Yay. Me too.
It was so lonely.
I was at my in-laws.
Funny thing about this whole situation, Adam was literally on a plane about to like have where they make you turn off your phone and stuff.
Yeah.
And I call him. I'm like, dude, we're not going to Florida in blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what?
Yeah, I was on the plane from Phoenix back to Austin.
I kind of wanted to explain a few things because some people in the comments were mentioning, didn't you guys look up reviews and you should have known better? So here's the thing is, number one, we have a bit of a different situation than most people buying supercars in that we have the channel as a platform. So I don't generally lean on it to try and use it to my advantage in situations like this. Like when I call dealerships to buy a car, or when I'm calling a dealership doing it for a client, I don't say stuff like, hey, I'm Dan from Normal Guy.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such nature films as Earwigs, Ooh, and Man vs. Nature, The Road to Victory.
Like, I don't want to leverage that because part of it is it allows me to make sure that they're honest and kind of feel them out without giving them information about me. Like, I don't want to disclose information about me until I have to. I can be a bit more risky than most people because I have that as like a safety stop. Now, I'm not saying that it's a perfect safety stop, but it does allow some leverage. In this particular case, I didn't really have to use it as a leverage, but it does provide me a platform where I can take a risk financially and recover that risk in the channel. And that was my logic in this particular instance was I told myself, okay, we read the reviews. We knew there was a reasonable chance that they were not going to be honest with us. In fact, we knew from the first phone call they weren't being totally honest with us. It just
The first phone call he told me about them.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, they're sketchy as
yeah, as soon as I hung up with them, I'm like, dude, I think we got the car, but they're sketchy.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know if we're actually going to get the car. I don't know, whatever. So here was the logic behind it. I was willing to risk $5,000. That's what I told myself from the start. I'm willing to lose $5,000 to try and get this car. And if I lose the $5,000, it's small enough that I could take it in the small claims court. We don't have to hire lawyers. You know, it was going to be easy to try and recover it. And at the same time, I would assail them on my channel. And I think that would have put a lot of pressure on them to give me my money back.
Although we do have legal representation already.
This firm represents Clayton Thong and CNC Motors, Inc.
With the Texas
Yeah,
lawyer.
we could bring back the Texas lawyer or the Italian lawyer.
Yeah.
Dear sirs, we represent the Ferrari SPA in this intellectual property matter.
I've got two good lawyers.
Dude, we could do a duo tag team.
The Texas and Italian lawyer team.
That would be pretty awesome.
Texitalia.
Texas.
So that was kind of my reasoning. I thought it was a reasonable risk. And ultimately, we were still looking at like, hey, we knew that a Superleggera with 111,000 miles is not going to be perfect and it was going to need work.
The one thing I'm honestly annoyed about is most of you guys know how I feel about miles on cars. I have 130,000 miles on this thing. That car was like the perfect vehicle for us to help debunk or destigmatize these types of vehicles with
Right.
these miles on them, because we were going to drive it back because it's already got 111,000 miles.
Yeah, what's another 2,000 miles?
Yeah, and two things was either going to happen. Either we were going to make it back completely fine, or we were going to have minor issues, and we were going to document that you can still fix those types of things. Now we're buying a car with 30-ish thousand miles on it, and we're already talking about how we have to watch
be a
the
little bit
miles
careful.
on it for the resale value, which annoys me. It actually really does annoy me.
And yeah,
That's
and
what pisses
to be
me
fair,
off.
we still want to try and find a 100+ thousand mile supercar at some point.
We have one right here.
Well, yes, that's true. Another one that we can do stuff with and whatever. And you know, I would say more specifically, I want to try and find a 100+ thousand mile Lamborghini, Ferrari, or McLaren, and show that you can own these cars and that they're not unreasonable. And
Well, McLaren, let's not run before we walk.
yeah,
Dan.
yeah, we'll work.
Well,
our way
I'm
into it.
not sold on the McLaren mileage thing yet. I'm sold on post Audi Lamborghinis and post 430 Ferraris.
But you know, the funny thing is, there are old Ferraris with well over 100,000 miles. It's just they've been maintained and in stuff very well. Part of the thing that was so fascinating about this car is we were going to have to do some very long-term maintenance on it that I thought would be interesting. So our plan, you know, I talked to Josh about it and told him all about it, and he said, "That's an awesome car. We'll pull the engine and do the timing chain." And I'm like, sounds like fun. So that was part of the plan. We were going to pull the engine, do the timing chain, run a
but not
compression.
necessarily for the chain, more for the guides.
Yes, and we were going to do a compression check, and if it needed it, we were going to replace piston rings and whatever else it needed and kind of refresh it.
We were hoping that all that stuff was going to be good. We were wanting to buy a car, like he said, to do some maintenance to it because the 458 was too reliable, but we didn't want to have to do full teardowns because at least I am. I don't know about him. I'm trying to destigmatize mileage on these cars.
Well, sure. I was hoping that all it would need was the timing chain and a clutch. And maybe like bushings and...
Timing chain guides.
Timing chain...
Stop giving them the wrong idea, Dan.
You have to do both. You do both while you're in there.
But the real reason is the guide.
But like simple stuff like valve cover gaskets, whatever. Just stuff that's typical and expected on a car that's got 100,000 miles.
Any car.
Right.
Yeah.
Any car with 100,000 plus miles is going to have those sorts of things start to become concerns. It's a bit of a disappointment that that car is not going to be ours. I guess the good news is it really served as a educational experience for all of you to see what to look for. If we had not had the channel, we'd not been in the position that we are, from the start, we would not have bought that car. We would not have been interested in that dealership. After reading the reviews, I would have gone running away. Like if I was buying that car for me as an individual, reading those reviews, seeing the things we saw, all the red flags we saw, we would have walked, 100%. So I don't want to give you the idea that like when you see these red flags, you should just be like, oh,
ignore
well.
them. Yeah, don't
ignore them. They are real. We just have a different situation than most people. I don't like South Florida cars. I don't like Las Vegas cars.
If they were Vegas, they were guaranteed to be a rental.
Almost entirely going to be a rental. Same thing with cars in the Miami area. And also, like, I don't like cars that are near salt water because they can get some corrosion, but whatever.
I'd be more worried about northernly states with salt on the road. You do have a point, though. Living by the ocean is not great, but it's not as bad as living in Michigan.
You're on a New York car, I do get worried about New York cars because I feel like they just get beat up. Also, a lot of rentals in New York, too. It's like, avoid rental cars.
Super Speeder Robs.
I mean,
he rents out in that
rents out
area,
a lot.
in like the New Jersey or something area, which is all right in that.
Another thing I want to talk about real quick that was brought up in the comments is why did I give a deposit in the first place? I got to point out a few things. Number one, deposits are pretty common in the supercar industry. I actually don't like that they do deposits, but I understand why. And that's because the dealership does have a lot of people interested in these cars frequently. And without a deposit, they're going to sell it to the first person that comes through with the money.
There's legitimate reasons that there are deposits.
Right, and legitimate dealerships take deposits very frequently. This is not uncommon. And deposits, from what I've seen, generally range from $1,000 to $10,000. I personally will never send a deposit more than $5,000 just because I feel like that's a number I'm comfortable with and putting that as a risk. I try and get it as low as $1,000 sometimes, and I've gotten away with that. It's even more true when you are trying to find a specific rare car. So trying to get a Superleggera is difficult. There are, 6 or 7 on the market right now. There's only 172 in the US entirely, and they only made 600 of them in total across the planet.
Well, 172, so that implies
That's a
that
pretty
none of
low-
them were ever totaled.
Right.
So we
172
don't know how many
Yeah.
there actually are left.
So when you find cars that are rare, that starts to be more concerning about putting a deposit on it. When you're dealing with a car that's not local, deposits are very common because, well, it's not local. What are you going to do about buying plane tickets and flying out there? And I wasn't able to get out there for 2 weeks.
We just touched hands.
I will never watch this again.
Grubby's gotta go catch some gnarly pounders!
Oh, I'll never watch this flipper again.
This channel just got real weird. All I'm saying is deposits don't scare me. Most places are okay with deposits, and they're reasonable in that if you go there and the car is not what they expected, they will refund the deposit, no problem. Most places that I've dealt with have that as their policy. They want a deposit just to make sure that you're actually coming. They're not going to waste time. And usually they'll only give you a week or two on those deposits.
Yeah.
So that's all normal stuff. So that to me was not a red flag. The reviews were.
Most people only go online to tell bad things. Most people don't go online to say, oh, I had a great experience.
Well, I hope that you guys can take some lessons from this and make better decisions. For all of you not in our situation, you should take any major red flags as a sign to just pass.
Seems too good to be true.
Or if you're ever
probably is.
uncomfortable, if
Yeah.
it ever makes you think, I'm uncomfortable with this, don't do it. Don't do something you're uncomfortable with. Even if that means you lose the car, you'll just have to deal with another one. And again, we have a different position. We can take a bit of risk, and that's literally our job to do that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I had the backup of, hey, if it doesn't work out, we get a bunch of drama. So, and look we got a bunch of drama.
Although, admittedly, we weren't after this type of drama.
No, I legitimately.
I actually wanted this
I really
car
was hoping for it.
because now I have to sit in the truck for 40 hours listening to his music.
Well, as I said before, if you'd like to support us, please like, share, and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and go visit normalguysupercar.com. We do appreciate when you guys can support us. Don't forget, we offer consultation services to help you navigate the tricky waters of supercar buying. We know it sucks and we know it can be scary. We've helped hundreds of people do it, so we're pretty experienced in it. I'm not saying we're perfect, but we do a pretty good job. Pop my own collar a little bit. All right. You guys are amazing. We have lots more cool car stuff coming your way, including finally getting a Lamborghini on this channel.
Well,
So
let's not count our chickens before they hatch.
Well, look, we're going to get a Lamborghini. It might not be the Lamborghini we're currently interested in, to be fair. Although, it's looking pretty good. This new dealership seems really good. I'm very pleased with them. So, assuming it all goes well, I'm going to sing their praises. There needs to be more good stuff happening to good people and good dealerships that are honest about it. I
We're
appreciate
going to destigmatize leaving good reviews, too.
Yeah.
High
Oh, definitely.
mileage and good reviews.
Yeah, that's what we want to
That's my mission in life now.
I like this plan. Anyway, we'll be doing more car stuff. You're going to want to stay tuned.
It's going to be a lot less scammy.